No spin today, because this is not a Musicians on Couches show. I'm calling this is going to be another little series. Next one's going to be more about some psychology thing that goes on with musicians, but I'm calling this Tools of the Trade. And I'm not talking about technique. I'm not talking about polyrhythms or double strokes. You know, you can get that in a lot of places, and you can get that on my channel as well. But the question is, especially for the newcomers, 35 qualities for the newcomers. I think that's Star Trek, by the way. If I can find a clip, I'll throw it in.
100 quatloos on the newcomers.
400 quatloos against the newcomers.
200 quatloos against.
500 for the newcomers. Contest by multiple elimination.
How do we make a living in this business? And this is not just for drummers. This is for your guitar player, bass player, painter, whatever. How do you make a living in this business? So it has always been very difficult to make a living as a musician. But now, two things are true. There are more avenues open to you than there used to be. And at the same time, it's much, much more difficult to make a living in the business. I don't know what's going to actually happen to the music business, but let's talk about some of the nuts and bolts of this thing. So when I was coming up, a young lad, there was really only one road available to you if you wanted to do it. As soon as I got old enough, I started going to the local jams. And what you do is you play and you network with people, and then you meet with some like-minded people that you like playing with and they like playing with you, and then maybe before too long you've got gigs, and before too long maybe the bass player has another band he works with, and then he hires you to work with that, and before you know it, you've got a calendar that's full and you're out there gigging all the time. And even if the gigs don't pay that much, if you were doing 15, 20, $100 gigs a month, well, now you're talking. Now you're talking, right? And then there's recording sessions, and that was the start of a living. That start of a living. And if you taught on the side, and I always taught on the side, I mean, I've been teaching for 30, 35 years. And like right now, I'm carrying about 25 students. So you got a living. Now, again, is that the same as getting discovered and playing with Bruce Springsteen or Adele? No, but it is a living. Now, when you're out there playing 20 gigs a month, even though they're $100 gigs, you might get seen by somebody who knows somebody. Let me just tell you a quick story. Dick Wagner, who played with Alice Cooper and played with Lou Reed, and I worked with him from end of 2012, 2013, 2014, and then he passed away late 2014. I did a couple more shows with the band. We did some things with Mark Farner, and then that was it. And when he passed away, it kind of all ended. So that was a national tour. I've also done Carnival Cruise Lines, and I used to tour with Godspell and all that kind of stuff. And so, but the guitar player for Dick Wagner, one of the guitar players and kind of music director, I met him at a jam, at a blues jam. I had nothing to do one night, and I went to go to the jam, and we ended up playing together because I knew the singer that he was playing with. And then I get a call a couple months later, hey, our regular guy can't make it, and you want to fill in for a couple shows? And I did. The jams were a way. They were a way to do things. They were a way to get known. And no matter what, you still have to get out there and gig. But there's another avenue open to us now that wasn't open then. So now, sadly, there are much less clubs to play. There are much less blues jams to do. There are, or rock jams, or jazz jams. There just are much less jams to do. I said blues because that's what you hear the most of in this area. You get a lot of blues jams. Some of the clubs have closed because of COVID, but even before that, the internet changed things, my friend. The internet changed things. People now had, instead of 4 choices, they had 4,000 choices. So they were staying home and watching TV and going to the clubs less, and clubs were not hiring bands anymore. A good friend of mine, Greg Nicky, I've been on a couple of his CDs. And he went from doing a bunch of gigs each month with a band to doing mostly restaurant gigs. And I understand you're going to make ends meet, so why hire me? You got a phone? Put yourself out there on YouTube. Yeah, maybe only 2 people will see it. Maybe 2 million people will see it. You don't know. You got to get your name out there. You have to use every avenue that's open to you. If you can teach, teach. You need to do it all. Don't think I'm a rock drummer, I'm a jazz drummer. Learn it all. There are community theaters in your area that this won't pay very much, but again, this is networking, and I do this sometimes. And you need a drummer to do a show for 3 weeks, but it only pays $30 a show. Go do it. Sometimes I've done orchestra gigs like that, where there's 50 other people doing that, and they're doing it for fun, but some of them have other bands, and you get hired from them. So really what I'm talking about, the big word is networking, but now there's a type of networking that wasn't there before, and that's inter-networking. Ha! Send your information, sizes and how many you need, to the email address that I'm posting here. That's right. The hoodies will be selling for $39.99. And the t-shirts will be selling for $19.99. That is right. And if you order just one, I got to put a $5 postage and handling thing on it. If I got to ship it to you, if you're local, I'll deliver it. If you order more than one, forget the postage and handling. It's on me, baby. All right. Support the channel. We need your help. I thought this product pretty much looked cool. You might like it. Order your t-shirts today. Thank you. Internet working. By the way, anybody who wants to use that term, send me $1. And like I said a moment ago, don't worry about the equipment. So there's a gentleman, his name is Bonhamology, not him, his channel is named Bonhamology, B-O-N-H-A-M-ology. And he does these Zeppelin covers, I think with a phone. Sound's not that good, picture's not that good, but you can tell he is.
So anyway, there you have it. I'm going to try to play this Nebworth ending one more time. Thanks for watching.
You can tell tell, the good comes through. I'm going to say that again. The good comes through. Mr. Bonamology, I do interviews, Musicians on Couches. I'm going to link this to you. Why don't you come on my show? I'd love to interview you and talk to you about your channel. He's got now thousands of subscribers and people watching him. He is probably one of the best John Bonham aficionados, and if you want to learn the style, even for myself, I would watch him and I would see, I didn't know that John was doing that in that tune. I did, and I would think, oh, all this time I've been doing it wrong. That's the way John is doing it. And again, his production values, my production values are not that good, but they're way better than his. But the good comes through. The good comes through. What's your forte? Is it rock? Do some rock covers on YouTube. You just don't know. You've got to get out there. You've got to get known. That's the only way. In some ways I feel bad for you, and in other ways I feel, well, there's an opportunity here that wasn't there for me. You know, there's another thing that's happening now. Once you network, and you can network enough, you know, put up comments on some of the artists that are coming through regionally and touring, and introduce yourself. I mean, you've got to be that way right now. So, videos of yourself. Teach if you can. I know somebody in this area who makes a lot of extra money refurbishing drums. I have a piano friend, great keyboard player, got a good website, all that stuff, does a lot of playing and touring as well when things were good. Now, he does a lot of piano tuning as well. He goes and he tunes pianos. So, he's in his field. But if you get yourself on YouTube with your phone, it's a start. You'll start to feel, you start to see what's happening. And this is part of the psychology of it. We're going to get this in part 2. I'm going to wrap this up. Be a player. You've got to play. I don't believe you can do it with just YouTube and that kind of stuff alone. You've got to go and sit in and do the jams. You've got to get known in your area. Like I said, I've done that kind of thing, and even in my area, people know who I am. So I know as things open up again, calls will come in. But be a player. Start playing. See if the music store down the road is going to hire you. All that kind of thing. Be around musicians. I wish it was easy. I wish it was easy. And then there's something that I was trying to do as a young man, and that door closed on me, and I won't get into that now. Your music education degree. You can teach music in the schools. Like, yes, you've got to throw that net. The answer to that question, how do I make a living playing music, doing what I love? I don't know if you're ever going to get hired for Adele. I don't know if the band that you put together in your area is going to become successful. It may fail. But if you start thinking of the music business as this large thing, selling drums, guitars, whatever instrument you're playing, teaching drums, guitar, all that stuff, getting on YouTube. You know, I didn't want to do instructional videos. I do some, they're on my channel, but why do you want to have me teach you about 50 ways to leave your lover when you can watch Steve Gadd do it on YouTube? I like doing the interviews, and that keeps me relevant, and people, oh, I watched that, oh, I remember seeing you play here. So getting yourself out there. In some ways, it's easier now than it was before. Here's the bad news. A couple of billion people know that they can do it too. So it's a bigger ocean. So the only answer I have to that question, find a way, The internet, the jams, I say all of it. Get on every single road, every avenue that you can, and play. And play like your life depends on it. Play like you need to play. When you go to the jams, play with conviction like you gotta play. The good will come through. The good will come through. Trust me, I can tell right away, even some of the YouTube guys, the guys that have only done YouTube and have never done a gig, they're missing conviction. They're missing that, And other guys, I'll name it that Bottomology. You can tell that man has played live shows. He is a good drummer. Zach Grooves, another one. Ron Brown, another one. There are several that I really like. And then there are others that I have learned from. But you can tell they really have only played on YouTube. So you got to do both. You got to get on every avenue. And you got to take it as far as you go. And then know that even if you've got to work a day gig, doing something that maybe it's just working at Guitar Center as a manager or something. Or in pro audio or something like that. You got to know that you're a musician. You're a musician not because you're making money playing as a musician, but because it's what you love. Because it's who you are and you know who you are. Stay tuned for part 2, maybe in a month. We're going to talk about the psychology of COVID and how it's hurt us and how I've coped. All right, got Felix Cavalieri coming up, the keyboard player, singer, writer for the Young Rascals, later the Rascals, who's on tour now. He'll be the next interview on Musicians on Couches. Stay tuned to my channel, watch every show, subscribe, and buy a freaking hoodie.